Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Pavani. I hope you are doing good, my dear friends. Today is 26th October, Friday. Today we have a very important article called Our Time Begins Now. It's about climate change. It's not just about climate change. It is also talking about some very important or very, you can say, workable solutions that we need to apply. Then we have one more topic on climate change. You can say, right, we can club this two things together. It's called Think Small. It's about Uttar Pradesh. So let's crack on, but before that I would like to inform all of you that our pen drive and tablet courses are available for various different exams. To find out more about it, do check out StudyIQ.com. Let me tell you one thing about our pen drive and tablet courses, that of course they are designed by best faculties of our country, but the most important thing that I like about pen drive and tablet courses is that you can go through lectures as many times as you like. You can refer them at your peak hours, right? If you are a morning person, then you can go through them at your morning time, evening or afternoon, depends, right? So basically you can customize. This is something that you don't get with traditional tuition classes. So write a question or queries regarding it. If you want to get one, check out studyiq.com or feel free and give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Now, Our Time Begins Now is about Paris Agreement. It's about climate change. It is about nationally determined contributions and so many things. Now, before moving ahead, let's do a quick recap. Remember, regular students, a couple of days ago, we talked about this COP23 and COP24. I asked you a couple of questions as well at that point of time. We discussed this thing that Paris Agreement is basically a first step. It was in the Paris Agreement that the world agreed on this thing, that yes, now is a time that together we have to do something about climate change. Together we have to do something about carbon emission or greenhouse gas emission, isn't it? Then it was decided that in next couple of meetings, or COP22 or COP23, we will by COP23 we will come out with this rules and regulations, or rule book will be designed, and by COP24, that is going to take place this year, December, in Poland, by COP24 we will start implementing things that we are supposed to do. But so far we are not on a same page. When I say we, I mean to say as a global community, as a world community, as human beings, we are not on the same page, right? So many countries like USA has stepped out of this Paris Agreement. Australia and Brazil are planning to step out of it. There are few countries, they have talked about so many things, but they are not doing anything about it at all. Like we have one example of United Kingdom. A person from University of Manchester, Kevin Anderson, said that aviation, shipping and trade, if we calculate these things of United Kingdom, then we find that UK has made no reduction to its greenhouse gas emissions. So this is just one example. There are so many other countries as well. They have determined their nationally determined contributions, or they have identified areas in which they have to take some sort of actions to reduce this global climate change or this greenhouse gases, but in reality they are not doing anything about it. We have talked about this thing as well. Again, I would like to remind all of you that the way things are going on, we are not going to control, the way we are going, the way we are behaving, the way we are doing things, right? By the end of this century, 2100, by the time we hit this year, average temperature can easily cross 2 degrees Celsius. 2 degrees Celsius is a tipping point. That means once we cross this point, there is no way back. Under Paris Agreement, we have decided that we should make sure that we don't cross 2 degrees Celsius, and preferably we should make sure that we should stick below 1.5 degrees Celsius below that. But the way nationally determined contributions are designed, and we have talked about this thing as well, I would like to remind here that we talked about this thing, that even if each and every nation under Paris Agreement, if every country is following religiously this NDC's nationally determined contribution, then as well we are going to hit 3 to 5 degrees Celsius average global temperature, which is catastrophic, right? Now, these are some of the details that you find in today's article, and some things are coming from our past discussion, just to have a good start or good understanding, basic understanding about where we stand at present. Now, recently, a magazine called Nature has talked about climate change, and this Nature climate change has identified India as the country with the most expected damage from rising levels of carbon dioxide. We have so many examples to go through, but I would like to start with this socio-economic challenge that we are facing in our country. If we go through these figures, then we find that we are, of course, in this catch-22 situation, because we have to get rid of poverty in our country. We have to bring those people who are living in poverty, we have to uplift them, because a simple example is Ujjwala scheme. Before this Ujjwala scheme, there were millions and millions of families. They were relying on this traditional cooking system. They were burning this wood and other items, and they were cooking their meals 3 times a day on this system. Now, negative impact of this smoke. It increases this indoor pollution. It impacts the ladies, lady of the house health, kids who are staying with her, and of course elderly people. And there are so many things. So this is just a small example. Now there are other examples. You can help yourself with it, right? I'm not going to go through all those examples. Let's do a little bit of mind exercise. Give me a couple of examples of poverty, right, and its impact on our environment. I gave you one example of chula system, or this traditional cooking system. We can talk about sanitation and other things. So if we don't get rid of this poverty, then we are going to face some socio challenges as well. This thing very well. This is a reality. If you don't have that much money, if you are not financially capable in our country, in our society, then you will not get that respect as well. This is a very serious thing, right? Once upon a time, Mahatma Gandhi ji said this thing, that a person who is working hard and who is winning his or her 2 square mil, that person is not getting that much respect. And a person who is just having wealth, right? If a person is having character but no wealth, and if a person is having just wealth and no character, then as well the latter will be appreciated, or will be getting all these attractions and things like that. So it's very important that we uplift our people if we want to fight climate change. But to uplift them, we have to do a little bit of or huge amount of economic activities. And when we do economic activities like building factories or constructing roads or dams or any other things, we are, it is inevitable that there will be a damage to natural system. So this is the reason why I'm saying that we are in a catch-22 situation, because we have some 364 million people, or 27.5% of our population, that is nearly a third of our population, is facing multi-dimensional poverty. They don't have houses, cleaning facility, or sanitation facility, health facilities. Because of all these things, right, their productivity will come down. If their productivity is down, then their economic life will be down. If their economic life will be down, then again this vicious cycle will get more speed, more pace. So I hope this is making sense, that when you don't have money, it's creating some social problem for you. When you are not that good in terms of society or social respect, or that much importance is not given to a particular community or particular region, then we find that economic development is also not visible there. So it's a vicious cycle, and we need to break this deadlock, right? So it's very challenging. Now we also find increase in one more thing that I would like to add here, that we have 19.1%, that is 1/5 of our population is vulnerable, right? A natural disaster or a medical expense in a family or death of a family member can push them into poverty. So we have 19.1%, nearly 20% of our population is vulnerable to poverty. Natural disasters are throwing or bringing more challenges, and we know the situation of Kerala now. We know the situation of many other parts of our country, right? In some parts we have floods, in some parts we have droughts. So this sort of things, and it's not just about droughts, and it's not just about floods or this Kerala situation. It is more about severity, intensity, and frequency of natural disasters that we are witnessing in today's era. That is the most horrific thing. So we need to do something about it, or else we are going to, it is going to push us, or more of our people will be under poverty. And then we have other issues in our country in terms of economic growth. We have registered good economic growth, but this wealth distribution has not been equal. We have seen a rise in inequality in our country, and this Sunday hopefully I will discuss a special topic with you guys on inequality. We will go through and understand this thing, that how it's not a lack of medical facilities, it is this inequality because of which we find so many unhealthy people, or people are facing so many health issues because of inequality, right, and not because of a lack of distribution of this medical facilities. A very interesting topic. I'm going through it, right? The research is on. Hopefully by Sunday I will bring it for you guys. So right, we have talked about all these challenges, and it looks like there is no way out, but there is a way out, right? And the way out is Sustainable Development Goals that are there in front of your screen. We have 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, that we have to achieve. When I say we, I mean to say United Nations community, every country in the world. We have to achieve this Sustainable Development Goals, and if we achieve this thing by 2030, then yes, we can enter into a zone of zero carbon emission. I'll quickly read these 17 goals for you guys. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and green, or beg your pardon, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. Can you remember Gandhiji? And point number 12, responsible consumption and production. Number 13 is climate action. 14 is life below water. 15 is life on land. 16 is about peace, justice and strong institutions. And 17 is about partnerships for the goals. So these are 17 sustainable development goals, and they can help us out because I'll give you just example, right? A small example. We have decided to produce as a country 100 gigawatt by 2022 will be coming from just a solar power, isn't it? This target is a good target, no doubt, but it's a centralized target. It's a target of Government of India. It's not a target of say for example half gigawatt or 0.25 gigawatt target of your village or your district or your town or my town, right? It's a centralized goal. What we need is, we need more decentralized goals. So read this line here: context relevant modifications through local and institutional innovation may be more appropriate for a country of India's size and ecological diversity. We have this huge ecological diversity. We have various different terrains. If you approach peninsular India, then you know that sunshines are more compared to what we find in northern India. So all these challenges are there, or you can say diversity, geographical diversity as well as ecological diversity is different in different parts of our country. So we need, of course, if we have some central level solutions or central level targets, we don't want to get rid of them. Let central government achieve, right, to what it is trying to achieve, but at the same time we need to have village level, town level, district level targets. We need to have society level targets, right, within a village. If you have a big village, then that village can be divided into 4 or 2 parts depending on population and size. Same thing applies to towns and districts as well, district centers or cities, right? We need proper local solutions. Like let's talk about Jharkhand. We have this example from this article. In Jharkhand, there are 249 remote villages that are powered by solar microgrids now. And because of this success, now Jharkhand government has decided that it is going to add some more normal villages that are connected with normal grids. They are going to get this solar microgrids as well. So it's going to be more green, isn't it? Same thing can be applied or something similar can be executed in different parts of our country. We can also talk about this, this 1.5 degrees Celsius report calls for societal transformation. I'll give you example when we talk about that Uttar Pradesh editorial that we have on our table today. So I'm leaving this point for now. Recent events, however, show that we cannot trade off forest, urban water bodies, riverine ecosystems, waste management or groundwater, as this come back to bite us as floods, landslides, droughts, and infectious diseases. If we don't look after our nature, then it is going to hit us back very badly. Agriculture, we need smart villages, we need smart cities, we need smart farmers for our agriculture sustainability, or for a green or more eco-friendly farming practices. When it comes to industry, again, smart entrepreneurs, smart systems, right? Minimum damage, maximum benefits. When it comes to city, right? Commutation, transportation, we need smart city dwellers, right? How we can design our cities, how we can make sure that rather than finding a big mountain range of this garbage, right, in the periphery of our city area, how we can create some small, you can say, area-wise, you can say water treatment plants, area-wise, segregation of this material, of this waste material, how we can utilize the same money for the development of that particular area. So small societies, small division, and making more availability of more of these facilities is the best solution that we can apply or adopt. If we are not looking after, as you know, that right, then it is going to hit us back. And this is one more thing, that we cannot be pressurized from outside, right? We need to change from within. And when we say within, I'm talking about individual level as well as societal and national level. Now, the second item that we can club here is about this think small. Couple of days ago, we talked about this thing. It was a news item, remember, that 87% of fecal sludge is just chucked away in this drains, open land and wetlands in Uttar Pradesh. Can you believe this thing? 87% of urban areas untreated waste is just released in drains, open land and wetlands. So we have Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, we have Namami Gange, and we have this Ganga cleaning mission, and so many things are going on. Awareness has been, but then as well we find that local level sanitation situation is very bad. United Nations back in 2015 in its report estimated that 65,000 tons of untreated fecal material is introduced into the environment in India annually. 65,000 tons. Can you imagine how much clean water we are polluting, how many diseases are brewing in our water bodies and other areas because of this bad practices? And one of the most you can say workable as well as important solution that we can find is decentralized sludge management system, something similar that we talked about this article, isn't it? That we need more this decentralized sludge management systems. We can create wealth out of it. This will help us in our environmental protection. And if we are not working on this particular thing now, right, then it is going to hit us, as you know, very badly. We are going to lose all those natural resources that we have, and you can also add human beings in it, because so many kids in our country, they are facing these issues of underweight and stunting, and this wasting, and so many things are going on. Wasting in the sense wasted, right, in terms of human beings. So this will impact our national productivity, because unhealthy environment, unhealthy people, right, are no good for development. So again, all these things are part of, right, this good health and well-being, industry, innovation and infrastructure, sustainable cities and communities, responsible, all these things are associated with SDGs. I hope things are clear to you now. Now moving on to another item, it's about this trial by voters. It's about Tamil Nadu. So before going through this article, let's understand this background or this news item. On the front page of the Hindu, you'll find this news item: disqualification of Tamil Nadu MLAs upheld. So after the death of Jayalalitha, there was a political, you can say, rivalry within this AIADMK ruling party. I'm making this long story, right, cutting down into a short one. So because of this, I want to become CM, I want to become CM, this sort of things. There was a sort of cracks within this party, and 18 MLAs, right, they protested, or they were against this Palaniswamy, who was chief minister. So Tamil Nadu Assembly's speaker finally decided that this 18 AIADMK MLAs should be disqualified, and they were disqualified. So this case was, took to this High Court, and this High Court verdict was split. Split means one judge, that is Indira Banerjee, she said that whatever Speaker has decided is okay. And another judge, Justice M. Sundar, said that what Speaker is saying is not right. So it was a split judgment. So it was a deadlock. So finally, Supreme Court appointed Justice M. Satyanarayana. And the third judge, his opinion is that whatever stand is taken by Speaker is final. We cannot interfere with it. So this is this overall scenario of this Tamil Nadu's Legislative Assembly. You have 234 total seats. Out of this, 115, including Speaker, is with AIADMK. 88 is with DMK, that is opposition party. You have some Congress, and then you have total other seats. So this is the position of House at present. Now trial by voters is about this decision of Madras High Court upholding the disqualification of 18 legislatures for defection. Defection basically means you are going against your party. You cannot go against your party because it is this party under this party's umbrella. You fought election and you won election, but now if you are going against the party, then basically you are breaching the trust. That's how it is. That's how this thing is taken. Now Tamil Nadu appears to set, it's going to go through this, we don't know when, but it is going to go through this by-election. Normally general elections are more important, but for Tamil Nadu, by-elections are going to be more important because total 20 seats will be contested. 18 of this MLAs, disqualified MLAs, and 2 MLAs passed away. So total 20 seats. And now the situation of Chief Minister is very critical here because to stay in power, AIADMK will need 6 seats. 4 are this MLAs who are of AIADMK. They are not happy with AIADMK, and 2 because of this deaths. So total 6 seats to remain in power. So 115 plus 6, so 121 to remain in power. Opposition party, they have some 97 seats altogether, adding the support and other things. And to stay in power, they would need 20 seats. Now we have these parties of Kamal Hassan and Rajnikant. These parties are launched as well, 2 different parties. So they are also going to attract some people towards them, isn't it? So it's going to be a very critical situation of Tamil Nadu in terms of who is going to rule the state in future. And now we have this article, driven by notions of purity and impurity. It's written by a politician. So of course you are going to see a touch of politics when you will go through this particular article, but I would like to stick with all those items that are important for our capacity building rather than indulging ourselves in this sort of political debate. So driven by notions of purity and impurity is about Miss Irani, Smriti Irani. She talked about some personal things in which she believes. She said that menstruating ladies should stay away from particularly when they are going through that monthly period. They should stay away from this religious places or maybe temples or other places. So this was her personal opinion that she talked about. But we need to remember this thing as well, that she is a public figure. And now, of course, when it is coming from a public figure or a politician or a political leader like Smriti Irani, you are going to find trolling. You are going to find people who are not happy with her view. It was her personal view. So we don't have that much right to, question her personal view. She has not said anything wrong about any communities. She has just said what she believes in. Now, a very interesting thing has been written in this article is about this one, that parliament or legislative assemblies, or basically these houses, are considered as temple of democracy, not only in our country but around the world, right? So parliaments around the world are considered a temple of democracy, or they are very important. When we talk about, let's forget about other countries, let's talk about just our country. We have used this term as well, that parliament is temple of our democracy. So in future we may find people protesting that ladies should not enter our parliament. I'm just throwing a food for thought for you guys. And one thing about this temple, Sabrimala temple, is that there was no ban before 1991. And we have this documented evidence as well, that Maharani of Travancore in 1940s, she used to take part in this pujas, and she has took part in many other ceremonies that took place in this temple. So what suddenly happened after 1991? So there are so many questions that we need to ask ourselves as a society. If we are against this decision of Supreme Court, or if you are with this decision, you need to think about it, and we need more sensible people from both the sides. They need to get on board, and they have to find a proper solution of this thing. Protest and adding more fuel is not going to help. This one is about peddlers of hate. Now this peddlers of hate this article is talking about a very important thing here. I can speak on this thing for nearly 30 or maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes or 1 hour, but I would like to keep it very short and simple here, that there are so many various different channels, so many newspapers or media houses. They have the main agenda is TRP, and this is a fact, right? TRP, that is to increase viewership. The more viewership you have, the more money you will make, right? Which is very logical, and there is no harm in it as well. If you are aspiring to grow your business, then there is no harm as far as it is ethical, right? Like, say for example, if a doctor decides that to be rich, that doctor has to, of course, a surgeon has to conduct as many operations as he or she can, but that does not mean that even a small fever, and if you approach that doctor and he will go for an operation, so that is something that is unethical, isn't it? Something similar is going on, that to make their shows and programs and their articles and other items a big hit and eye-catching, right, or entertaining, I would say, what they are doing is they are adding masalas, spices on the things that are said by some people. And because of this sort of things, we saw murders of this investigator of this Gauri Lankesh and other rationalist murder case. Their conclusion is that investigators are saying that this addition of masala, things were said by these people, they were totally different from what was interpreted or comprehended by all these radical groups. So because of this additional masala, the sentiments of some religious groups were hurt, and because of this thing, they murdered. But of course, murder is not a solution, but media played a very negative role here. That's what we can say. Now let's move on to news items. I'm going to be as quick as possible here, because you have to go through these news items by yourself. 1400 arrested, front page news. Then Jagan, that is why Jagan Mohan Reddy was attacked by a knife, with a knife, of course, by a waiter at Vizag airport. He is safe now. Muzaffarpur probe. Details are horrid and scary, has been said by Supreme Court. Neighbors often heard screams from the shelter home, but no one acted. That's a very sad thing. Crowdfunding is a tradition in tribal village, a front page item, but here it's not important about, for us, it's not about marriage, it's more about crowdfunding, right? How a community together can execute social or religious functions. In the same way, can we rope in the same culture of crowdfunding in sanitation, in other climate related or environment nurturing projects? Yes, we can, isn't it? So that's a food for thought for you guys. Students have found that this toxic chemical or barrels have been suspected in this Yang River, indicates that China is engaged in construction activities in this Zalong River, Yarlong Zangpo, that is this name of Brahmaputra in Tibet. Aim and shoot for a citizen science repository of Indian mammals. This one is a new project by National Center for Biological Science, NCBS, and you can click pictures of rare animals and then you can upload it and share with other people on a particular website. India set to be third largest aviation market. You have a chart here as well. Digital boards will change education. India is going to launch this 15 lakh classrooms are going to have Operation Digital, are coming under Operation Digital Board. They are going to have digital facilities in their classroom. Now this Nageswar Rao, we talked about him yesterday. He's associated with some Hindu groups, so that's a bit of a concern. Flexi plan for captive coal block owners, 75% production. They have to use it for a specified end use. But 25% they can sell it in open market. Suresh Prabhu has urged states that that they need to procure more and more things from local, local the things that are indigenously developed for kicking or for helping this make in India. And then we have this vocabs for you guys. Please help yourself with it. I have 2 questions. One is about NDC's nationally determined contributions of India. Provide some facts and figures about it. And this is your MCQ here. And that's everything. Dear friends, download the PDF of today's lecture from my FB page and Twitter handle. Share this lecture with other students. Thank you very much for your love, for your support. And I will be eagerly waiting for your answers and for your valuable input. God bless you all. Enjoy your day. Jai Hind.